Greetings. How are you doing today? This is going to be a full-length class. Full length could be a lot of things, right? Like to me, a full-length class just kind of goes until it feels right, you know. And for me, it's about 2 hours. So it's probably going to go about an hour, maybe longer. I guess we won't know until we're finished. But you know, because you can see what the time is on the video. But as of this moment, I am in the dark as to how long this video is going to be. It's kind of exciting. So what we're going to do today is it's going to be a slower flow. It's going to be core-centered, as all of my classes are. And I am going to cue you as much in the beginning as I can to set you up for how the inhales and the exhales will work during the practice. And then the cueing is going to be significantly lower after probably the first 15 minutes or so, because this is technically my practice today. And also, I think less cueing is good for people that are looking to do yoga and they have the ability to stop a video, rewind it. If you're used to a lot of cueing, use this as a moment to think, okay, I'm going to try this and see what I get and what I don't get. And it's more information for you. It's not like, well, if I can't follow along, I'm bad at yoga. There's no bad at yoga. It's just a test to see how aware you are and how good your oral listening skills are to the motor skills that you have to employ. Mine have gotten a lot better since I started doing yoga again after a 4-year break years ago. And it's getting to the point now where I actually don't have to see a lot anymore. And that's great. That's really good for your brain. So try it. Okay? Just get out of your comfort zone when it comes to being cued to death on what you're doing. And just give it a try. Also, some of the poses that are offered can be modified to be way low or way high in terms of intensity. And only you know what your intensity level is. So I hesitated to call this beginner or intermediate or advanced because it can really be all three. And there's another place where I invite you to give it a try. The nice thing is you can try this class and some of it may be over your ability right now, but how are you ever going to learn what your body needs and what it doesn't need and how it can modify poses and what to do when the rest of the class maybe can do a whole bunch of stuff that you can't. It's okay to be in that position, but you're never going to learn how to change it and how to deal with it unless you actually try it. And where better to do that than the comfort of your own home, right? So this is really very much a class about playing your edge, getting out of your comfort zone, and shaking a few things loose. So don't be surprised if you get some really strong reactions, some frustration, and you start getting down on yourself, or you start getting maybe even a little bit mad or angry. Don't stop the video, keep going, let it pass and work through it. And you may find that at the end of the class that you did a lot more than you thought you could have, or at least you learned more about what's possible to do in yoga and what's possible to do in your body, okay? So we're going to get started with the breath, as always. Sit comfortably. To me, this is a comfortable seat right now. If you're going to be on your block, that's because when you sit cross-legged, your knees might go really high, and so this will help drop them, okay? So I'll sit here with you. Cross one leg in front of the other. You know, take out gently any flesh that might be in the way of your sit bones getting grounded. And then just hang out with me here. So as we inhale, you're going to fill up the whole belly, side ribs, back body, and pelvic floor. Everything's just going to fill up in all directions. And this is very much a time of year, you know, autumn is significant in the sense that it's supposed to be a time to burn away the old and start anew. So we're coming into winter, and we really need to shake some things out of the body to get ready for a time when we'll be looking to be shut in more into the house, when we will be potentially muddled with the thoughts of holidays and plans and how to please family member A and B. So this is a good time of year right now to just take time for yourself. So when you inhale, think of a nice wave of air, like a gust of wind coming all the way down and shaking things loose, like leaves or clutter in your basement. And then as you exhale, you're going to gently squeeze up from the pelvic floor, front of the pelvis, front low spine, lifting, passing through your solar plexus, right? So that's when you're going to lift up all of this junk and all this energy, and it's going to go through the fire of your belly, so to speak, and it's going to get transformed, and then just comes back out your nose again as something totally different. You're just cleaning the junk out of the basement. So we're going to do this as like the basement breath, or the bonfire breath, right? That's the way I like to think about it. So inhale all the way down to the basement. Remember, your basement goes back, sides, bottom. It's not just your belly poking out, although it will. And then the exhale, gentle lifting, gentle squeezing, a little bit, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, right under here. And then when you inhale, the natural curves of the spine come back into the body. The inhale goes all the way down. The exhale, you gently lift, you gently engage, and then so letting everything, and try not to engage your glutes so much on the exhale. Try to engage really those subtle muscles. We're not trying to squeeze for dear life. It's more of a lifting, like your little tube of toothpaste. All right, I'm going to come off this block now. I'm going to turn to the side, and you can stay exactly as you are. Cross your legs the other way. Take your hands somewhere to your thighs. We're going to go side to side here, waving the body into a nice water-like pattern, taking a little S curve. So let things get really loose. So as one wave of your spine goes forward, then other waves are going to ripple as well. It's going to undo the previous wave of the spine, kind of like a whip being snapped until it eventually comes out straight, and then it slackens again. And then from here, start to inhale, pour the heart forward, sit strong into your seat. And then as you exhale, lift right up to the ribs, and then round the upper back. Maybe take the head down. Inhale. And then exhale, lift. Let the elbows do what they like. I like them to come out to the side. Inhale. But you can certainly do a more backward motion if you want. And if your upper spine is already pretty round, you might just want to work on a little bit more of the shoulder action. And then on your next inhale, let the arm float to the sky, one little motion at a time. Take your hands to your heart, twist to the right. Inhale, sit deeper into the left side. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale to center. Twisting to the left, sit strong into the right seat as you inhale, pressing the air down into your body. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale to center. Let's take it one at a time now. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And so on and so forth. Let the exhale come from the deep low belly. And on your next inhale, pause. Exhale, take your hands back. Let your toes tap the floor. Inhale, elbows back. Maybe on your next exhale, you come in closer. You don't have to, though. You can keep your hands back. Inhale. Exhale. So when you inhale, set that heart up. When you exhale, feel the inner thighs like a little zipper up the front of your low spine, and then let the heart rise again as you're inhaling. Exhale, everything zips up, lengthens, and so on and so forth. You can have your hands back. This is Ardha Navasana. When I was coaching gymnastics, it was called tuck-ups or lemon squeezers. Keep the low belly, keep the inner thighs as part of your core. Next inhale, draw the legs into the chest and just chill, maybe legs side to side. Remember, you could have done that whole thing with your hands back. So rocking and rolling. If rocking and rolling is not okay with you, there's a lot of reasons for that. It doesn't matter, it's fine. You just come to one side or you just hold this position. What if you could inhale, and then as you exhale with that breath? We're going to do this a couple of times. So when you exhale, I want you to feel it start from the pit of your pelvis and travel up real fast up to that solar plexus. And if you can't get as high as me, that's fine. You might come here. Two more times. And come on up. If you want to come up from here, you can. That's not my personal favorite way. I'll rock and roll. Exhale, feet wide apart. Doesn't matter how you get there. Come to a forward bend. Wide feet, generously bent legs. All right, so when we work through our poses, we work through a sequence of foundation, so we ground, core, when we start engaging the deep core line, toes, shins, inner thighs, pelvic floor, psoas, which is on the sides of your spine, all the way up to the diaphragm. And then we express the pose, so we start straightening limbs, and we inhale, we release the spine to its natural curves. So let's do that a couple times, and then we're going to get moving into some sun salutations. So as you inhale, ground and feel this Y sensation. So you've got the energy moving up. So the more you press into the ground, the more when you go to stand up, you're going to have energy lifting up with you, right? Physics. And then come out the back. Think of your sit bones widening like a Y. Okay? The base of your pelvis widens, however you want to think about it. But you're still consciously engaged. You're not just dumping your belly because you're pressing into the floor. If you're not pressing into the floor actively, that Y is going to turn into a super arch of the back. So you've got to have that grounding. So grounded Y. And then as you exhale, draw the pit of the pelvis up towards the navel. Start to take it up to the ribs. And once it comes up to the ribs, notice my Y shape hasn't disappeared. Then I can start to find the natural curves of the spine. Then I can express the pose. My feet are a little wide, so I'm going to draw them in. And just have fun with it. Don't get too worked up on detail yet. You got to feel things first. Inhale, wave the spine long, create width in the seat. Exhale, start to lift the low belly from the hip creases all the way up to the ribs, and then start to extend, curve and extend. Exhale down. We'll do this a couple times. Inhale, wave the spine long, press into your shins. Ground, exhale, lift up to sternum, and then start to release. No pressure on the low back whatsoever when you do it that way. It's a wonderful thing. I have a sensitive low back, so I can tell you right away if something's not going to work. It'll only take a few tries. Try this on your own. Inhale, ground, widen the seat. Exhale, lift low belly, sweep up the front of the spine, natural curve, and then extend through the crown of the head. Take it down. I think we're ready to rock and roll now. So inhale, wave the spine long. And remember, you can always have your hands on blocks. This is a really important tool that a lot of people miss. Exhale, step the left foot back, runner's lunge. Take your back knee down anytime we're in a lunge or a warrior stance. Okay, and warrior stance is your shin just moves. All right, so from here, inhale, feel both feet press. Your back foot, ideally, just to feel the deeper core line, is extended out. So press the toenails and the ankle and the shin to the floor. Inhale, press. Exhale, scissor the legs together. Feel Mula Bandha lift, and then start to find a little cat-cow. I usually do it like this, but you can have your hands on the blocks. Inhale, press down, little width in the seat. Exhale, scissor the legs, lift the low belly, start to rise through the sternum, and then maybe a little bit of this, just for this particular pose. Inhale, press, exhale, scissor, Mula Bandha, lift to the sternum. Good. On your next inhale, let the arms unfurl. And then as you exhale, start to draw the right seat back and the heart forward. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, bend and curl. Contain your energy, and then in the inhale, let it flow out in all directions. Exhale, again pressing the feet towards one another. Inhale, pause, press down. Exhale, draw in, up, and express. taking the hands down, step it back, either around the side, okay, or between the hands, downward dog. We're going to do partial plank waves here. So as you inhale, feel a little bounciness, a little softness in the limbs and the joints. And then draw your inner elbows forward. So when your elbows do bend, they bend down. So if you're chicken winging, draw your biceps towards your ears more. And pretend like you're squeezing a beach ball in between your forearms. On top of that, squeeze a little beach ball with your shins, but give yourself enough give in the knees that you feel that Y sensation in your seat. All right, so as you inhale, soften. And as you exhale, lift up to your tippy toes and then draw the inner thighs into the pelvis more, and then draw the tailbone into the body, and then just stop there. Make sure your hips are the highest point. Inhale, pause, soften. Same thing, exhale, lift, legs into body, tailbone into pelvis. Now pelvis towards the sternum. You're a little higher. You're a little bit closer to plank, but you're still high. Good, inhale. Exhale, same motion. Continue to lift all those body parts into the body. And then find a plank. Inhale. Taking the knees down. Breathe in. Draw the inner elbows towards the front of your mat. And then as you exhale, zip up the front spine. Take a diagonal chattarunga. You don't have to always do diagonal, but it is good for your shoulders if you're working on strength. Otherwise, do what you need to do. Inhale, press into the toes, into the fingers. Notice I said fingers, not hands. Exhale, squeeze your elbows, draw your low belly. Make a little curve in the upper spine, and then finish with all of your curves in the low spine, but you've lifted your low belly. All right, take it down. Let's do that again. Inhale, press. Exhale, squeeze in. Lift pelvis into the body. Lift the ribs up. A little rounding in the upper back, and then now you can inhale up. Little to no compression in the low spine. Exhale, take it back. Take a child's pose here, just so you can remind yourself to come back here. Then find downward dog. Take your feet together at the back of your mat. Inhale, find those soft joints again, strong and soft, right? So you're drawing all your limbs in towards one another. On your next inhale, pause. As you exhale, step or daintily jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, wave the spine long. And then exhale, same idea. Keep the Y in the butt, and then start to lift low belly, rise up to the sternum, and then open the heart, and then extend the spine. Breathing, and then take it down. Inhale, wave the spine. Exhale, step the right leg back. Runner's lunge or crescent lunge. That's what I'm doing. So inhale, press feet. Exhale, scissor legs. Cinch up the low belly so it goes upwards, and then rise. I'm going to take the cat-cow on this side as well. You can join me or you can work on the balance. Inhale, press in, draw the left seat back. Exhale, draw the spine out of the pelvis, lift through the sternum, maybe curl the upper spine. This side is harder for me to balance, so I'm going to go a little slower and I won't go as deep. I advise you to listen to your inner sense of balance as well. Everything scissors in, and then on your next inhale, let's press into the ground strongly so we're not just dumping into our hips. And then as you exhale, drawing from your left hip crease, draw that back, but draw the heart forward. Inhale, exhale, draw everything in, come on up. So it's like every time you exhale, you're containing some energy. The inhale expresses the energy, and then the exhale draws you back like a seed, all right, blooming, and then inhale, there it goes. Take the hands down, curl your back toe, step back, down dog. Inhale here, and maybe stick out your tongue, let it out the mouth. Take another breath, and then let it out. Now your next inhale, soften joints towards the earth, press into your fingers, and then exhale again, lift the legs into the pelvis, pelvis all the way up. Stay there. Inhale back to down dog. Exhale, curl, wave, and lift to plank, and then maybe take your chattarunga on the same exhale. You don't have to. Inhale, press down. Exhale, squeeze in, lift up. Rise And inhale, opening what needs opening. If you're going to take pointed plank out of this, I'm just going to let you know, you need to draw everything in. Inner thighs, feet, toes into the earth, arms into the body, but they're still soft, right? They're not locked out. Soft. And then pelvic floor, big time lifts through the low belly, through to your sternum, and then come back. And then from here, take the feet together at the back of the mat. This time we're going to do a jump in place, and then a jump to or towards the front. So inhale, soften, keep that Y position. A lot of times when people bend the knees, this is what happens, right? So take your feet wider if you struggle with that. Inhale, keep the Y in the butt, and then as you exhale, okay, so there my legs came apart. Next time I want my feet to be together. Inhale, soften towards the earth, and then exhale to the front. Walk the rest of your way. Inhale, wave the spine. Exhale, start to curl, rise, curve and express. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, wave the spine. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay in Utkatasana here. My feet are a bit wide, that's okay. On your next exhale, from your core, lift your left leg into your chest and hold. See what happens to your right hip. Did it jut out to the side? If so, use a couple of breaths to reach it back. Good. From here, you can take 1 or 1,000,000 steps back, but lift the low belly on that exhale to step back into a high lunge now. All right, and then in high lunge, just release the upper body. Find your grounding. Maybe take your right thumb into that right hip crease to just gently nudge it down and back. All right, inhale here, press into the earth. As you exhale, bend the back leg. Start to stack ribs over hips, heart over ribs. Inhale, and then exhale. Take your fists of fire. Now when you inhale, straighten the leg to the point where your pelvis doesn't dip forward. So for me, it's almost straight. And then coming in. So if your legs start somewhere behind your navel, think about pulling up that portion first to bend the leg. We'll do this 2 more times. Practice that scissoring action with your feet. When you exhale, helps your balance. On your next inhale, rise up. Exhale, float the left hand to the ground. You take your back knee down, sweep your right arm back, bend your back knee a little or a lot, start to string a bow to the ceiling. Soften your left elbow, draw your left shoulder down the back, and then straighten the leg. You want to do that again, you can. Nothing wrong with a little motion. Think about with every sweep, your exhale actually lifts the right side belly away from your hip crease there. Inhale, straighten, 3, 2, 1, take it down. Step it back, down dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, you can. Inhale. Exhale. Starts from the feet. Feet, inner thighs, tailbone, pelvis, sternum. All the way down. And then exhale, press into those fingers. Zip up your front spine, down dog. So take a breath here. And exhale it out. Feet together. This time we'll do 2 jumps in place to jump to the front. So it's okay if your jumps are like that. Okay, I didn't say big jumps, I just said jumps. So inhale as you soften everything at once. There's 1. There's 2. Let's go for 3. Always look where you want to put your feet and then look 6 inches past that. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Take a ragdoll, grab opposite elbows. And then take your toes closer together than your heels. So your heels are apart by, an inch. Inhale, wave the spine long. Create the Y. Keep the Y as you exhale. You start to lift from the pit of the pelvis. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, from your low belly, lift your right knee into your chest. Breathe here and gently nudge
that left hip crease back, if it jutted forward. Inhale, and then exhale 1 or a million steps back to a runner's lunge. You can always take your knee down. I already said that. All right, so from here, release low body. Find your footing. Maybe nudge that left hip crease back. Maybe fire up that back inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, curl, rise, stack, and breathe in and let everything open and relax. And then exhale, fists of fire. Let that leg bend from behind your navel. Let the inhale press into the front heel strong. Let the exhale draw the feet together. 3 more. And if moving the arms is too much for your balance, then don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, 1 more. Good. Inhale, right arm to the sky only. Exhale, float it to the earth. Pressing into your fingers, spread apart. Sweep your left arm, bend your back knee. Organize your body, stringing your bow and furling the arm, and then straighten the back leg. If you don't like this, then you don't have to do it again. But I'm going to do it a couple of times. And on the last exhale, I'm going to lift those muscles right around my pelvis away from the hip crease, so I have room between my belly muscles anyways, and my left leg. My belly is still touching. Inhale at the top. Exhale, hands down. Step it forward. Fold. Inhale, wave the spine. Keep the Y, and then exhale. Start to curl, rise, lengthen, curve, and express. And then take the hands down to Samasthiti, equal standing pose. Play around with the feet and the toes, move things around. So if you've already been introduced to something new, or you felt challenged, and the urge to run away or shut the video off has popped up, that's good. That means you're playing your right. You're in a good place. Right? There's nothing comfortable about change, even good changes. So just chill out. Keep it going. Stay the course. All right. So as you inhale, unfurl the arms to the sky. Softness in the legs here, and then from your core, bend. Take the seat back. Take the Y. Exhale, lifting, and then fold, release. On your next inhale, wave the spine. You may want your blocks handy. Exhale, step the left foot back. So come up to a runner's lunge position, and then take your heel down comfortably. Okay, back toes and back knee track on the same line. Bend that leg, the heel's going to pop up. And then inhale, draw the right hip crease back. Exhale, rise up just like we did for lunge. Inhale at the top, and then let the heel come down comfortably. So you're going to take your chest and square it to the front of the room. Let your hip be open. I call this warrior 1.5. Squaring the hips could be very problematic for a lot of people. Tends to torque the knee, tweaks the low back. So just hang out here. Just have the front of your body going open. You're going to have to use a little core engagement to do that. Take the arms back. Interlace if you can. If not, take your hands back so your fingers go down. The Mick Jagger hands. Press the thumbs into the sacrum. Inhale, take the elbows back. Now exhale as you scissor your feet. Lift the low belly and start to rise, then release the arms. Then you can inhale. And from here, start to pretend like you're going to touch your left shoulder to your right knee. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Curl up, inhale at the top. Exhale about halfway down. Use the last half of the exhale to lift you up through the front of your body. And then from here, go forward now. Take right shoulder to right knee, and come as far forward as you can. What if you need to be on your knees? Then be on your knees. Take a look at your right sit bone. See if on your next exhale, you could scissor your feet in and sort of draw that right sit bone underneath you more. Keep it here. Release the hands, whatever you need to do. And then with the hands down or up, bend your back leg, turn your heel in, and turn all 10 toes face the left long side of your mat. And find yourself in Prasarita C. If you want to interlace your hands again because you have to drop them, go for it. And then once you take little ninja lunges side to side. And then when you're ready, release your hands, or again, keep them where they are. Turn your toes out, heels in. Track your knees and toes. Inhale, let the tailbone drop, heart forward. And then exhale, stay with that Y in your seat and rise up. Now your arms might be really tired at this point. They may not want to be interlaced. That's fine. We're just going to stay here in goddess pose for 3 more breaths. And if you want to, with every exhale, you can do a little puff and lift of Mula Bandha and go like this with your heels. And then take your hands to your hips, straighten your legs, and turn your left toes to the back of your mat. In fact, turn all 10 toes forward and make a brief lunge. And then spin your back heel down comfortably, knees and toes track on the back leg and the front leg. Then bend both knees, inhale, draw the left hip crease back, and then exhale, start to squeeze up through pelvic floor, sweep the front spine, inhale, drop the heel. Again, warrior 1.5. So this sit bone here, if it juts out to the side, you want to fix that, but work just the chest forward. And then from here, take the hands and namaste, press the heels of your hands into the back of your skull. And then as you exhale, lift your low belly, press into your hands without tensing your jaw, without over squeezing your eyes. And release the hands, interlace the other way, the way that feels like you're missing a pinky finger. Inhale, elbows, exhale, lift, release, breathe in, and then exhale, right elbow, left knee. Inhale at the top. Exhale. Next one. Come on the inside of the leg now, continually drawing that left thigh bone into the socket so it doesn't start swinging out to the side. If your left butt did swing out to the side, use your exhale, scissor your legs, and then draw it towards the midline. Breathe here. Hello. Release the hands anytime. And then when you're ready, turn your back toes out, front toes in. Come to Prasarita again, but this time release your arms no matter what. Take ninja lunge side to side. And then when you're ready, stop on your left side here. Remember, you can sit on a block. You don't have to be as low as me. I couldn't go this low for a while. And then flex the right foot, but don't let the knee just hang down. Okay, and hyperextend. Actually draw the leg into the hip socket just a little bit. And then maybe lean a little bit more forward. Still keep that Y position. Remember, you're grounding. Right? If you're not grounding, the Y turns into this low back mush. Good. Now use your exhale. Puff it up. Take it to the other side. Same thing. Ground your heel. Don't just let the back of your knee become the load here. Let the foot press down. A little Y. Maybe you come forward a little bit. Continually drawing the left leg into the hip socket. And then exhale. Turn everything to the front of your mat now. Toes and fingers and all that good stuff. Step back, down dog. You are in no way obligated to take a vinyasa. Ever, really. So you can come to child's pose or inhale, press, exhale, wave. Maybe everything goes on the exhale until here. And then exhale, maybe stop in pointed plank. Inhale, let the heart come forward. Press into your fingers. Exhale, lift low belly, lift right leg. Breathe. Exhale, left leg. And then take it back. Just for fun, no obligation. And taking your feet to the back of your mat together. Inhale, draw your biceps towards your ears, bend. And then exhale, one big jump to the front. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, wave. Make the Y. Exhale, lift. Curve. And open. So it's like you got a little hand when you go to stand up, lifting you and drawing like a little string. Once the string hits about your diaphragm area, then natural curve, and then extend your curves. Stay here for a moment. All right, so we're going to get into some more core work here. So if your hands tend to be, I should say your wrists tend to hurt, remember that you're trying to find a good strong spread of the fingers and none of this. Once your fingers start to lift, then your wrist is taking a lot more weight. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that the fingers stay flat. All right, so fold. And you want to be able to get your hands flat. So guess what? My legs can be pretty straight with my hands flat. That's not for everyone. So make sure your hands can be flat. Also, make sure your arms don't chicken wing. All right, draw them in. Inhale, press into your fingers. Exhale, take it back. All right, inhale, soften like you're going to get ready for a jump. But this time, exhale, lift the low belly and then take the right knee to the sky. When the right knee gets to the tippity top, inhale, straighten. As you exhale, bend towards the earth. Do that a couple times. On your next exhale, take right knee to left elbow. Core plank. Don't twist your other foot like this. Okay. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in at the top. Right knee, right elbow. Breathe. Exhale. And then take it to the opposite side and keep it here or extend. Turn your back foot. Lift the left arm. You can also be on your back knee or your front knee. Okay? Take it down. Kick it back. Take it to the same side. Extend. Turn the foot the other way. Right arm. You can also be on your knee. Okay? Exhale. Draw the knee to the chest. Breathe. Exhale. Lift your low belly as you lift your leg. Protect your spine. Breathe. Now take it up and hold it. Hips higher, hips higher. Take it back. And take that hips higher and step it forward. Turn your back toes out so they're almost facing the left wall, the left side of your mat. Take your hands in. Bend. Right foot still points forward. Y wave. Exhale. Start to rise up. Warrior two. Take your right arm. Sweep it up. Cradle your head in your hand. Or extend the arm. Don't look at your right inner thigh, but make sure that it's open. Knees are over toes 2 and 3. Take your right forearm to your inner right thigh. Draw your your shoulder away from you so the shoulder blade comes down the back. Bend the back leg. Sweep the left arm like we did in those low twists, low revolved crescent. Arm to the sky. And then try that a couple times. Take it down. As you lift your arm up, exhale, lift your low belly. Start to rise up through the front right ribs. Inhale. Do that one more time. Keep the leg bent as long as you can. Then stay here or slowly work your way down. If you want to do one more sweep and take Uttita Parsvakonasana, you can. Mind's eyes in that right hip crease. Every exhale can draw that hip crease back. Sit bones underneath you. 3, 2, and 1. Take it down. Take a load off. Let's come to lizard. Because lizard's good for you. Blocks if you need them, but make sure you can get your elbows down. That's important. Okay, I want you to be able to relax. Take a load off your wrists. So in here, little side-to-side motion isn't bad. If you can take your fingertips out, again, be careful of your strength. Don't just try to do this because I'm doing it. Draw the elbows back. This elbow's going to touch. Inhale, and then exhale. Sort of like a little cat-cow. Essentially, whatever stress you may have just put your body through, maybe by not breathing, or just by hitting a new position for longer than you're used to, try to wave the spine Give it that sense of, everything's okay. And when you're ready, you can take those elbows back down. If you want more of a stretch, curl your back toe under. But remember not to hang out in the hips. So you press your feet down into the earth, and then exhale, scissor in. And you don't have to do that the whole time, but you can certainly create more strength and more awareness if you're using the breath as a little mini vinyasa. You can make any one pose a whole sequence. All right, so from here, you might be done. Take your knee down, possibly. You can do this all with your knee down. Snuggle your right shoulder under your right knee. Maybe it doesn't go there. Oh well, that's just something you can try for later, right? Spread the arms across, even if your arm doesn't go under. And then lift. Okay, if you're going to lift, you got to lift the right leg first and squeeze the inner thigh into your shoulder. Exhale, use Mula Bandha to lift the other side. Continue to draw your feet in towards one another. And then maybe you take the arm balance. Maybe not. That's okay too, right? Yeah, it is. All right, if you're going to go for this, inhale, exhale. Maybe come up to the top. I got my feet curled under. You don't have to. Take it back. So what if you couldn't do that? Well, you just stayed in lizard. Maybe you were here like, okay, how do I get it under? Then you take your hands in, and then try this. Try lifting, squeezing. If it falls, that just means you have more strength work to do. No biggie. Come back to child's pose if that was overwhelming, or go through a vinyasa. And then whatever you do, come back to a still seat. So for me, being on my knees is a little more relaxing today. And just take a moment. We got another side to do, but take a little moment of repose between the two sides. And just ask yourself if you were able to keep the mind and your actual self separate. Meaning, if your mind started to say, well, what, I can't do that, or how can I do that, my body will never do it, were you able to take those thoughts and just separate yourself and say, okay, that's just the reaction. That's just a visceral reaction based on my past. Reactions like that are really strong are based on what you know, when you can only know what you've experienced. So you can separate yourself from that, the drama, and not feel the drama of it. Then that's when you can start to cultivate a response based on the present, and also based on the fact that the future is unknown. And when you do that, you open yourself up to like infinite possibilities. Okay? But we're so conditioned to be down on ourselves and to think that everything is going to be like it was when we experienced it once before, right? That's okay. It's human. But see if on the next time we can separate ourselves from whatever emotions that our mind's trying to pull us into. Just trying to pull us into things that we felt in the past, like we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, we're not flexible, we're not lovable, all that junk. But that junk still exists, right? That's okay. Inhale down into the belly. Clear out that junk a little bit. And when you exhale, lift it up. Take it through the fires of the solar plexus. Burn it. Comes right back out. It's a nice feeling. Inhale. Clear it out. Exhale. Transform it. Turn it into something different. All right, let's come to down dog. So from here, I'm going to do those core plankies. Inhale, soften. And then as you exhale, lifting the low belly away from the hip crease, take the left knee to the sky. When it gets to the tippity top, straighten. Inhale. Exhale, soften. Left knee, right elbow. Breathe. Exhale it back. Breathe in. A lot of extra breathing. It's good for you. Builds fire. Take it to the same elbow. Or to the floor. It doesn't matter where it goes. Just take it to that side. Good. Take it to the opposite side again, and this time stretch it out. Turn. Lift the right arm. Take it back in. Take it back. Breathe in. Exhale. Take it to the same side. Extend out. Left arm. Knowing that you can always be on your knees or skip it. Hover that leg in. Breathe. Exhale. Take it back. Good. As you exhale, take a core plank. Make your hips high, so lift the low belly. That's a little hard. Inhale. Take it back. Exhale. This time use it as one big step forward. Turn your toes out. Just your right toes out to the right. Come to the long side of your mat. Inhale, ground, make the Y. Exhale, lift low belly. Start to rise up. Straighten the back leg. Warrior 2. Sweep the left arm forward. Cradle the head or release. And then take the forearm to the inner leg. Bend your back leg. Sweep the right arm. Maybe pause for a second here. Ground, inhale. Create the Y wave. So think about the sit bones widening down. And then as you exhale, lifting from the back inner thigh all the way up to the left ribs. That should draw the left sit bone under. Straighten the leg last. Try it again. Your choice. Try it one more time. Maybe sneak the hand down. If you want to go for Utthita, again, sweep. This time, do what we did, almost cradle the head in your hand. Extend everything at the same time. Breathe for 3, for 2, 1. Take your hands down. Very nice. Take your lizard. Okay, lizard on the left may not be the same as the right. More open, less open, doesn't matter. It's just information. It's neither good nor bad. Just take it down. Back knee lifts if you need that sensation. Either way, don't hang out in the hips. So inhale, press down into the earth. Exhale, scissor the legs in. Feel a little Mula Bandha lift. Do that a few times. You may find too that as you scissor the legs in, that you feel a deeper stretch in your outer hip, on the front leg, maybe even inner thigh, on the back leg. All depends. All right, so from here, you can take the knee down and give this a go. And walk the hands in, snuggle your left shoulder under your left knee. All right, if that doesn't work, just keep your hands on the inside and have fun from there. Maybe take the knee down. If you can extend your arms, great. Just remember, it's going to be an exhale, so drawing the energy in. Lift the left arm first. Hug that knee into your arm, and then inhale, press. Exhale, lift. Try to open the heart forward while still drawing your left seat back. Breathe. Take it down. That didn't work for you. Take your hands in here. Come on your back knee. On an exhale, lift Mula Bandha, and then try to kick yourself with your own foot and take it back. Either way, if you've got an arm balance, go for that crazy arm balance. You're going to go back. Got to exhale. Do a little puff in the low belly. And then take it back to wherever you need to be. Actually, we're going to meet at the front of the mat, so vinyasa is fine. Jumpy jump. It's good too. Come to a ragdoll. And then just take side to side. So your legs are pretty warm, I think, I hope. And so we can work these little waterfall waves. So to make a long story short, I was injuring myself with more traditional styles of yoga, even though I was very careful. I know a lot about the human body from years as a gymnastics coach, years and years as a gymnastics coach, and my own body. But part of it was my ego was getting in the way, and the other part of it is there's just a lot of linear expression and things like power yoga, and some teachers with vinyasa, and just a lot of different styles are very linear. I saved my body through using this style, which is more fluid and expresses you from the inside out. So let's do some waterfall waves. I'm going to take my feet a little wider than my hips just because. And I'm going to work my hamstring flexibility without even thinking about my legs. This can be really, really heat building too. All right, so you may need your hands on your blocks. It's fun. Inhale, wave the spine long. Feel the width in the seat. And then as you exhale, from the pit of your pelvis, lift and lengthen and extend your spine. Don't even think about straightening your legs. Just extend your spine until the crown of your head reaches towards the earth. And then repeat. Inhale, sink the hips, wave the spine. Exhale, inner thighs, pit of the pelvis, extending the spine, and then release. Do that a few times. All you're thinking about is extending the spine from the bottom up. So lifting the tail into the body, gentle squeezing and lifting. Do that until you feel like, you can't really go any further. Like there's no way the crown of your head is getting closer to that earth. Extend the spine. Extend from the center, from the front of your body, from the core. And then when you're done, just release. Press into your heels a little bit. Press into the front of your feet. See if there's more weight in one side. Put a little bit more weight in the front if you can. And just for a moment, look at your knees. See where your comfortable point is. Okay, so for me, I could straighten my legs, lock them out. And then hold the attachment points on my hamstrings, Batman. I did that for a while because I could. So what I'm saying is, maybe your ego says you can, and your body can, but that doesn't mean you should. So you want to feel the stretch in the belly of the hamstring here. All right, so from here we're going to turn the toes out to Malasana. Or if you've been trolling the internet lately, rainbow soft serve pose, right? If you don't know what that means, just look up rainbow soft serve. It should pop up. So from here, Malasana is very tricky for a lot of people. You may need to sit on a block, all right? You can Stonehenge. You can do this against a wall. Taking the hands in. Now again, don't just sit in the hips. Press your feet down mindfully. And then maybe with the exhale, you do a little lifting of Mula Bandha. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale. So you can wave your body and squat. Or you can just hang here. Okay? No biggie. But this is a really good place though to feel when you inhale. Can you actually open up the muscles down the pelvic floor? Do you feel stuck? This is a really good position to feel how that inhale can clear out space down in the viscera of the body and down near the pelvic diaphragm. And when you're ready, take the hands here. Now this is where people get stuck. A lot of people can do crow, but they don't feel like they have the strength. So if you hear crow and you want to run, don't. Stay here. Don't deny yourself an opportunity to see how awesome you could possibly be. All right? So it's okay if you can't do crow too. But I'm going to show you a method that works. If you put a blanket or a bolster here, it's even less scary. All right? So a lot of people won't teach crow in this way, but I think it's actually a little bit advantageous for some people if you have flexibility but not strength. So take your chattarunga arms, come up. You don't have to come up too high. You don't even have to take your feet off the floor. You just have to extend your neck out of your shoulders, let your shoulders draw back, let your upper arms squeeze your ribs, and then come to here. If you're a little taller, you have longer arms like me, you can always make the blocks higher. Put something underneath them, right? And this might be it. But this is a good place to check and see, are your elbows splaying out towards your knees, your under knees, so draw them in. And then work the Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. One foot. Release it down. Exhale, inner thighs, lift low belly. Maybe to the other side. It doesn't matter. You can come forward, that's great too. Some people use this as a strength move and they try and work coming up. And then eventually, of course, you get a little bit more of the elbows coming in. You can stand on blocks. And I just use that little Mula Bandha lift. Collect my landing gear. I'm doing this while I'm looking over at you, just to let you know it's not easy. And then maybe as an exhale, one foot goes back. And then maybe it comes in. Come back to crow. You can have your feet on the ground for this too when you do this. You don't have to have your feet lifted. Just a little FYI. Exhale. Okay, you could do that on your tippy toes. Take it back. That was all well and good. Lovely, wonderful, exciting. I'll do a vinyasa. You don't have to. And then from here, take a little jump. Ta-da! All right. So this is where a bolster might come in handy. So let's neutralize before we stretch. Take the bolster. Take that bolster. Now with all this upper body stuff, I mean, we had a little bit of heart opening, but so you may want the bolster right up at your sacrum. If your bolster's bigger than mine, you probably don't. You gotta kind of check. a little bit too much of a curve when it's up close. We're going to take Supta Baddha Konasana, one of my least favorite poses in the world. So here's the blocks under here, because I get compression in my hip socket, my acetabulum, so to speak. So I don't go too far there, but if you're more open, sure, take the blocks out. I'm going to take the arms overhead, grab opposite elbows. At this point, I feel that my left form is on top of my right, so I just keep that in mind. And then every time you inhale, feel the heart rise and a slight natural curve of the lumbar spine. I mean, it's already curved because you're in a bolster, but let that curve stay there. And on the exhale, press the feet towards one another, and then gentle lift of the low belly. I mean like 5% engagement. And then sort of flatten the body a little bit into the bolster. And just do that a few times. Inhale, gentle curve, lift the heart. Exhale, gentle lift, flatten a little bit. Don't press like you're trying to squish a bug. Just do that a few times. Release the head, neck, and jaw. And just see if the head tends to nod in a certain direction with the inhale and the exhale. I'm not going to tell you what direction, and I'm not going to move my head because I want you to figure it out on your own. And then cross the elbows the other way, so your other forearm's on top. And now I'll start to do what my head naturally does. So don't naturally try to move your head. Let your spine inform the top of your spine. You know how we talked about doing the S curve, that once one part of your spine waves, it sort of undoes the other wave before, and so on and so forth until it goes straight if you keep waving. So from here, manually grab your knees together, roll to one side. It's very important. Take your hips over, roll to one side like a slug. The heaviness of the head, neck, and shoulders should remain. If you got dog hair, wipe it off. And then use your bolster from here. It's one of my favorite spinal twists to do. It's a twist that you do prone instead of supine. So you're going to take your legs in a thunderbolt position. You can have your legs stacked too. Just feel like you don't get as much stretch. And your bolster might be bigger than mine. You may not have a bolster. Fine, use a pillow. You can use a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel too. So what I'm going to do is I really want this hip to be pretty loose. So when you turn, if your hip's kind of stuck in place, don't let it be stuck. Actually allow that pelvic half to move with you. That's okay. You can do it the other way too, but this is the way I'm doing it. So walk the hands on either side of your bolster, maybe the right hand's still on, and then when you inhale, allow yourself to ground on the right seat. And then as you exhale, lengthen out of your front left hip point, lengthen with your belly. Maybe you do that again. Inhale, ground. Exhale, lengthen. And you take it all the way down. If you look to the same side as your knees, it's a little easier. If you look to the other side, it creates a whole different spiral in the spine, kind of opens things up. Now watch, I felt this leg sort of tightening up. I'm not even trying to, so I really want to loosen this because I want to feel a stretch down here. Now if your low back is loose or unstable, you might actually want to have some tension in this leg or even draw the leg up closer. So you've got to know what you need, all right? For me, having the leg loose is good. It used to not be good, all right? So things do transform. Things do change. But here's the thing. If you get stuck that something has to change, and it has to change in a particular way, in a particular order, you could miss the opportunity. So stay here. I'm going to sit up. You got to stay here for a little bit. And feel free to play around with the top leg. See what happens when it straightens away from you. See what happens when it straightens perpendicular to you. Be slow about it. This isn't a race. And then when you're ready, How do you come up? Well, you could stay here as long as you want. I love this pose. I fall asleep in it a lot. Take your hands close to your body. Just like you would kind of in that cobra, lift your low belly and your ribs away. And then again, like a slug, slugasana. Take it to the other side, but don't go right away. Let your body unwind a little bit. Let yourself breathe all the way down, all the way into the back of your body. And then turn yourself, walk your hands, inhale, ground to the left seat, and then exhale from the front hip point. I call it the oasis. Gently lengthen your spine, maybe stop there. Inhale, ground, that little wide connection, exhale here. So again, you might feel a little tweaking in your low back. So draw the front knee up, let the hip come up. Everyone's going to be a little different. So what did you do today that was a little different? What did you do that was, maybe you've done it all before? Did you do familiar poses in a different way? Did you get into them in a way that you're not used to? Did you get to try something new? Did you get to find out that you can fall on your face and it's okay? So it's important to look at every moment that pops up into your life that makes you feel uncomfortable or angry or mad or frustrated as being on the brink of some sort of transformation, some sort of change, or some sort of new knowledge or information. I really know from coaching for so long that a lot of kids are being taught, and a lot of parents think that, you know, the kids have to be happy all the time, and anybody or anything that causes them stress has to be taken out of their life, and that's just really damaging. So just remember to embrace those moments. So when you want to come up out of that, move your hands close to you. If you didn't experiment with the legs, do so. You don't have to wait for me to tell you. You're your own boss here. And then from there, best thing for you to do is to take your Shavasana. So if your back's feeling a little icky and you want to give yourself a little bit of space, take the bolster here. Maybe you have extra blankets. I have extra blankets. They're just not with me. You can take the bolster behind you, okay? Or if there's something else you'd rather do, like I might end with an inversion someday. So I am going to end with an inversion. So you can take an early Shavasana, okay? Or you can end with an inversion. So for me, one of my harder spots in my practice is Pinchamayurasana. I'm still afraid to kick into it sometimes in the center of the room. Other times I don't care. I want you guys to feel free to do what you like. You can do this against the wall. Again, I told you I'm sharing my practice with you. So your job is to take this into whatever you want, which could be nothing. You can even pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to explain what I'm doing. So I'm coming into this version of dolphin where all fingers but my pinky are interlaced. I'm going to walk my feet as close as I can. I got to spread my feet if I'm a little less flexible. Here's the thing. If my tailbone still doesn't feel free, if I don't feel that wide width in the base of my pelvis, I shouldn't go any further. Then I'm going to take my feet a little closer together. And then just like I did in three-leg dog, the left knee comes up first. And then I come up to the right tippy toes. And then I just float. That only happens on my right side. And so this is just a whole lot of me working out fear and then coming down. You can rest, or if you're like me, you're just like, no, I'm going to go right to the other side before I psych myself out. And then just try a couple. When you're coming up from an inversion, keep your head low. You can also go handstand, using your wall, drawing your inner elbows towards the front of your mat, trying to avoid that chicken wing sensation. When you're upside down, that Bandha breath is easier too. So you inhale, and as you exhale, you feel the low belly, you feel everything dropping in, and you just should feel lighter. If you walk your feet down, it's harder. And then lean forward, maybe in light drop. All right, so this is your opportunity here to end the practice in the way that suits you. I'm just going to go right into Shavasana. So you're going to feel what you want to do. So giving you some time, thinking about what works for you, and then do it. So your job is to find, even if it's just 1 minute, laying down flat. Then you'll feel the breath. Most certainly, especially if you just did an inversion, maybe coursing through your body a little bit more noticeably. Otherwise, see what you can do to let the breath become more relaxed, more normal. And feel the body start to wind down. So from the crown of your head, feel a softness right at the soft spot of the head. Just feel that travel down into the backs of your eyes, sort of calling your eyeballs back into the skull, smoothing out the skin on the forehead. And then feel that energy going down to the ears and behind the earlobes and down the sides of the neck, as though it's gently pushing the tops of your shoulders away from your head, and then pressing the fronts of your shoulders down gently into the floor. And feeling the backs of the arms get heavy, the backs of your hands, palms might be turning up to the sky to release a little more tension in the chest. And take your awareness into the heart. If you're feeling heavy in the heart, try to picture that energy maybe as a green color. Start to expand in all directions around your body. And then feel right above the navel, feel that little fiery spot in your body start to dim. And then below the navel, picture a nice watery sort of fluid going with the flow. All of your body organs and all of your gut feelings are very adaptable, very mutable, not stuck together, but just extremely fluid and something that you can trust. Your intuition is definitely something you can trust. If you lock yourself out of that part of your body, though, it's going to be really hard to access that. And just feel down the pit of the pelvis, down to that part of the body where we're never really told to focus on. And if it's an unfamiliar space for you, kind of like feeling around in the dark, just be okay with that. Feel into where the legs connect into your body and down into the very pit of the body. And feel your legs get super heavy. Maybe the feet flop out to the sides of your knees. Open up a bit. Let the feet relax. And then just like from the crown of your head, picture the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet as being that end connection, and yet also the circuit that brings the energy back up the body.